Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Sir Jedi Sentinel, and welcome to Sentinel Reviews. Today, our Doctor Who Series 11 reviews continue with Episode 4, Arachnids in the UK. This time, there is going to be a blanket spoiler warning in place from the very beginning, because I feel that, besides doing this unscripted, I feel like from the beginning, I have to sort of address some of the spoilers and the specific details of this episode. So, let's go. Overall, I will say this is probably the weakest episode to date. Um, for one thing, coming off Rosa, which was such a good episode, and this episode was going to be kind of a letdown anyway, potentially, most likely. But aside from that, the episode in and of itself was disappointing. So, what's the plot? The plot is that the Doctor manages to get Ryan, Graham, and Yaz back to Sheffield, and she finds that giant spiders are roaming around. Yeah, that's kind of it. And with that title, we reach our first problem. This episode was called Arachnids in the UK. Should have been called Spiders in Sheffield. Because for one thing, yes, we when you say arachnid, spider is usually the first thing people think of, but yeah, that's just it. It's just spiders. There's no scorpions or any other variety of arachnid. And the other thing is, the dialogue itself confines the events to Sheffield. They never say, yeah, this isn't going across the entire UK. They pretty much just say, yeah, this is going on all around Sheffield. So you get that title, Arachnids in the UK, you find out it's just spiders in Sheffield, it's already kind of a letdown. And yeah. We meet Yaz's family here, her dad, her sister, and her mother. I don't know why that took me so long, and that wasn't something I was happy with, In episode 2, The Ghost Monument, she talked about her family, how her dad's insane, and how her sister and her don't get along, and it's just finally meeting them. In the scene they gave us, it just felt shoehorned in. It's like, okay, we've got the main plot down, we've got most of it done, we're still a few minutes short, we need something else. It felt like filler. I liked Yaz's mom, though. I thought she was interesting. And she kind of reminded me of Jackie and Sylvia. Jackie being Rose's mom, Sylvia being Donna's mom. But, she had an invested interest in who the Doctor was. And I kind of liked that. I'm trying to hold off on talking about that thing, but yeah, I guess I'll just go there. One of the biggest disappointments of this episode... Oh, no, wait, I can hold off on that for a little bit longer. And I just forgot what I was going to say. Oh, as far as the companions go, Graham in this episode was really great. I think, yeah, he continues to be my favorite of the companions. And in a couple of scenes, he goes back to his place, the flat he shared with Grace, and the entire time he's there, he's just thinking about her. He's going through her clothes and smelling them. And one of the things I like is he starts seeing her there, even though we know she's dead. That's actually one of the things I'd liked throughout Series 11 is after Grace died, Graham and Ryan still find ways to talk about her. They find ways to keep her spirit alive. It didn't work in the Ghost Monument, but it worked really well in Rosa. And here, one of the things I like is when he hallucinates her, when Graham hallucinates seeing Grace in their flat, she's always out of focus, except for the final scene at the end of the episode, but she's always out of focus, and I really like that. And at the end, when they decide to keep traveling with the Doctor, I really liked Graham's reasoning the best. It's like, I'm a grieving widower. everything in my home reminds me of my dead wife. I want to get over her. I want to grieve, yes, but I feel traveling with you will help me better than staying home. So, yeah, Bradley Walsh's performance in those scenes anyway, was fantastic. Ryan was good. Again, we talked more about his absentee father in this episode, and it felt like Yaz's family. It felt really shoehorned in. It's like, we're dealing with giant spiders. Do you really think this is the best time to start talking about this? And unfortunately, after some really strong strides in Rosa, Yaz is once again the weak link here. Not that she's bad, she's just, in terms of material and such, and character development and such, she's not handled as good as Ryan and Graham. Oh, the effects, too. Because like I said, this episode revolves around giant spiders. The effects are really good. They are such an improvement. Like, say, look at the Lazarus experiment. Look at the creature in that. The spiders are so much better. They still look fake. They still look like they still look obviously CGI, but they are so much better than what early New Who did. Let's see. I talked about... Oh! And with the opening of this episode, we see the TARDIS traveling through the Vortex. We've seen it a couple times, and the Vortex is just gorgeous. It's like I said in, I forget which episode it was I reviewed. Season 11 is probably, Series 11, sorry, is probably on the fast track to being the most visually stunning series of Doctor Who we've ever had. And, shoot. I talked about everything else. I didn't want to talk about this. Let's talk about Chris Noth. Chris Noth plays Robertson. I forget his name, for his full name, but yeah, he plays Robertson, a businessman whose shady practices in this hotel he's building have caused this spider problem. I'm not going to talk about anything else, anything more there. I'm not talking about the analogs or what it's obvious the character is alluding to, because everyone has, and I really don't want to go there. I'm sorry. But no, aside from that, and here's the thing with Doctor Who, I don't mind the show having an agenda. I don't mind it having a message. Because it's entertainment. Any form of entertainment does. But it's just, when you make the message too obvious, that's where you start having problems. It's one of the reasons. The message being too obvious, too in your face, is one of my biggest problems with James Cameron's Avatar. But yeah, aside from that, Chris Noth was just really disappointing. Last week when I watched Rosa and I saw the preview and I saw Chris Noth was going to be in this episode, I was really excited. I like Chris Noth. He's a great actor. Watch The Good Wife. He is phenomenal in that. Well, then again, everyone was kind of phenomenal in The Good Wife, but that's kind of the point. Here, he is just flat, two-dimensional, and he is really over the top and hammy, and it's just, Chris Noth, you're better than that. So overall, sort of a quick review, but yeah, I found this episode to be largely forgettable. Even now, because I've got my notes with me, even now I'm struggling to remember what happened, and I only saw the episode like half an hour ago. It's not bad. I'm not going to call it bad, but it is a letdown from the previous 3 episodes, and it isn't something I would willingly watch again. I am going to give Arachnids in the UK a 4 out of 10. Because again, not bad. Just not good, but I wouldn't call it meh either. But yeah, what did you think? What did you think of the episode? What did you think of the review? Like, comment, subscribe, and then click that little bell to get notifications when I upload, because subscribe doesn't do that anymore. I'll either see you next week for episode 5 or possibly a little bit earlier with a different review. This is Sir Jedi Sentinel, and I will see you guys next time.